All right. Welcome to the Alkaline podcast.
The police met the plane. They let you finish your meal. I know you like to believe it, baby, but you're more kid than criminal. Just a boy who could not get through a domestic flight without lying up in the restroom. Got caught, cloud of smoke, thumb still on the light. You look so proud, couldn't wait to call a friend. We had to fly back home, never got the money back for that weekend. Right here on the Sydney tarmac, I threw my luggage down. I said, I'm gonna leave you, I'm not a good woman when you're around. That's when the sound came in. I could finally see. I felt the changing of the seasons, all of my senses rushing back to me. Go your own way, watch me turn my own head. Eyes on the driver, hands on my lap, heading to the city to get my body back. I hope you guys are well. This is the Alkaline podcast episode, something 47, 48 maybe. Yeah, this is Julia Jacklin. It's the best song in the world, I think. I remembered early days when you took my camera. You turned to me, 23, naked on your bed, looking straight at you. Do you still have that photograph? Would you use it to hurt me? Well, I guess it's just my life, and it's just my body. I guess it's just my life, and it's just my body. I guess it's just my life, and it's just my body. I guess it's just my life, and it's just my body. I guess it's just my life, and it's just my body. So I've got it in my head. I went to music college and we did learn all about music copyright and PMT, or whatever it's called, PCS or PDF or MDF, the PRS. And I'm pretty sure you can just talk all over the whole song, or like attempt to sing a song and you can just play it. It might not be true. I mean, if come at me, I'm happy to pay. But you gotta start. Don't be so coy about it. You start the process.
So this might be the last episode because I mean I think it's just as easy as getting kicked off Apple Music. But I really like that song, and I feel like you should all like it too. There's a bit in the lyrics like, so she sort of goes on holiday with this dude. He goes into the aeroplane bathroom, the toilet to have a fag, have a cigarette, and she's like, "Fuck's sake, not this again." And he gets kicked off the plane, but not in like a sort of James Bond strap a parachute and kick him out of the back door kind of situation, but like they call the police, and then when they land, the police are there to sort of be like, "All right, smoker." Do you know what I mean? Smoking is a crime in the sky. Smoking is a sky crime. I mean, who sets a fire inside an aluminium tin can that's been propelled across, you know, the night sky or the day sky, depending on what time you leave. But she's fucking livid about it. This is Julia Jacklin. She just gets her luggage, but I don't know. Like you said, she must have just had hand luggage because she said she threw her luggage down. It's right there on the tarmac, and she's like, "I'm off. I'm off. This holiday's not worth it. You're not worth it." I don't know. Maybe she got the luggage from the luggage carousel and then went out because he was still being sort of interviewed by the police, and like, you know, it's the biggest thing to happen at Sydney Airport for years, probably Smokergate. People used to talk about getting away with smoking in in an airplane, but I just don't know how people would do it. Like, it's so obvious, like so much smoke. Like normally in a day-to-day thing, there's just no smoke. Like if you got in your car and it was full of smoke, you'd be like, "This is odd. This isn't. This isn't what. This isn't how I left it." Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not an inconspicuous activity. Like, how did anyone ever? Maybe it was just fine. Maybe because everyone was smoking. I mean, I remember getting trains when there were smoking carriages, and it was really cool. I thought it was real well cool, but now it's like gross. I remember thinking when the smoking ban happened, I remember being like, what buzzkills, they want us to live. But no, I didn't think that, but I just thought, it's going to be annoying, isn't it? But then within like 2 weeks, I was like, nah, it's loads better. It is better. I'm glad there isn't just random people sparking up on airplane toilets anymore. But I just don't know how they even got away with it to begin with. Like, I quit smoking for the whole time that my children visited my house and were living here with us for the last like 2 months. And then towards, like, you know, in stressful times, they just sneak a cigarette, but everyone just knows straight away. And they have like a cigarette intervention for me. Do you know what I mean? But like, I get caught, and that's me. Like, I could be in like a different postcode, a different town. I could be like finishing work or something, and they'll be like, "Oh, they'll never know." And then you get home, and they just know. They intrinsically know. You got the yellow face, jaundice. You look like a Simpson. Yellow, like, sort of fingertips in there. Yeah, just saying. I just don't think it happened. So then she chucks all her luggage on the ground. Is like, "Fuck you, fuck this. I'm off. I'm going back to getting a taxi back to Sydney town centre, get my life back." And then she's like, "Oh shit! When we were first going out, we took that naked photo of me. Don't put that on Instagram." Basically, is the moral of the song. Just keep that off Instagram. And I was thinking, like, I used to have like disposable cameras, like loads of those disposable cameras, and like I was always ready for a wedding. Do you know what I mean? At any moment, a wedding might kick off, and be like, "Someone needs to document this shit." And I'd be like, "Don't worry, I have a bag of cameras, and I am ready and willing to document your special day for a fee." Hopefully, like 50 quid, because you know these cameras are like £5 a go. There's 10 of them. Do you know what I mean? But email me at Riggs's disposable camera wedding photography service at gmail.com if you want me to do your wedding photos on disposable cameras. I mean, you can always hire someone who's spent thousands of pounds on proper decent cameras, but you want that sort of retro council estate early 90s look for your wedding, for your big day, and you don't want to be spending extra on just like a man with a bag of lenses. What kind of man carries a bag of lenses around? Do you know what I mean? He should be self-assured. He should be like, I can do this with the lens that God gave me, which is my eyes. My eyes are the lens that God gave me. So I don't need your fancy shit. I've been a chef for 10 years and I'm using the same knife at the end of it, chipped off about 7 years ago. I've had to go back to work. The coronavirus stream is over. Now, I would have rephrased that, but I have already said it. Now, what I mean is not going to work. I don't want to go to work. That shouldn't be shocking to anybody. And for a bit, I didn't have to go to work, but now I do. I'm a chef again in Portslade. I'm not going to say the name of the pub in case I accidentally slag it off in a minute. I'm not going to. I quite like it, but but you never know what you're going to say when you're talking to yourself in your front room. You'll probably get this episode a week after I intend you to, because I got an email saying that my the hosting site that I put the podcast on, they've cancelled my account due to lack of funds. But I'm going to so I had to get this job. Now I've got the job. I'm going to phone them up and be like, yo, I got your money. And they'll be like, we'll communicate via podcasts. I'll do a little 1-minute podcast and send it to them. And then they'll be like, welcome to the financial department podcast. No, fuck off. You have to start a new one. And if that's the case, I'll just have to rebrand the podcast and start again. And this will be episode 1 of it. Directly following on from the last ones. And when I say directly following on, it's because I'm just talking about my life, mate. So yeah, I've been working. I've been having to. So it's 4 months of not working at all, just sitting around doing nothing. To be honest, so now I'm getting out there, doing a job, working chefing hours, going from nothing to like 13 hours a day is a lot, isn't it? I had to talk to someone called Ian. I've not seen anyone called Ian in over 4 months. Do you know what I mean? I just got a notification on my phone. I've started applying for comedy gigs again. There's one of them is on a roof terrace of a place in London, Fulham Comedy Club. I've asked her for a spot there, and then other ones are in just various sort of parks and bandstands around the kind of Portsmouth area. But I just need to get back out. I've been writing loads, so I started because I'm having my midlife crisis. We're going to do the skate segment early. I've been going down to the park, Preston Park in Brighton, getting on those basketball courts in the morning, practicing my ollies and my Olivers and my rolling ollies and my accidental half kick flips, and be thinking of loads of material while I do it. It's good. I guess it's a bit like meditation. Sometimes things come to me in the bath, so I have to get out of the bath and write them down on my phone. Bath and skateboarding. That's what I recommend for just coming up with jokes. But anyway, I've got all these jokes burning away on my phone and that, and I need to go to a bandstand in Eastleigh or Southsea, and say one of the posters that I saw for one of the gigs that I applied for just said a bandstand outside of a Betfred. Now, doesn't that sound ideal? I don't care anymore. I'm just going to go and I just want to do it. I just want to get on stand again. And I don't even know what we were building it for, because they're going to be so sporadic, these gigs, and the weather and we're coming into autumn, notoriously not the summer, isn't it? Autumn. So I don't know what's going to happen. I saw someone on social media. Someone posted something about indoor comedy coming back, but I feel like people are just sort of pushing it a bit too much. People are starting to not care that much. There's little creepings on the news of this sort of virus coming back again, and yeah, there's not much distancing. In this pub that I'm working in, there isn't much. It's not much social. There is some, but but sure, I don't know. It's hard to really say because like I've got to work there because I've got no money. So and it's just little tiny kitchen, and there's other chefs, and how are you supposed to? It's hot as well. So like if one of us goes down, then that is a kitchen full of dead chefs that in it. But we just gotta fucking do it, and then. I mean, I'm sure there's people who made food for other people during the Great Plague. So but that's not. I don't. It's fine. We're back in work. Everything's back to normal. I'm just a bit worried that if we go, what indoor gigs are we gonna do? The ones that are like big capacity ones, surely like the more named comedians, will get those. Like the ones who are professional, but full professional comedians will get those first. So unless it's like a tiny weird gig when they'd only be able to put like 4 audience members in anyway, so it'd just be really bizarre. I guess one of the problems I have is going to do these bandstand things is if you go all the way there and there's just no one there in the park. But I guess you get that with almost all. You've got to when you because we've not done comedy for so long, you've got to get back into the like remembering there might not be people there. because that never really crossed my mind in the past when it was just normal. So because it does happen and often sometimes. But you know that's what you got to do to get these fucking jokes out, son. I hope you like that Julia Jacklin song that I played before. By the way, that's honestly that's my favorite song. I was walking home from work the other night and listened to that song 8 times in a row, which is too much, isn't it? I said on the last episode that I was going to do self-referral for online talking therapy. I started off the process, filled out my name and my date of birth and that, and I was like, oh, this is easy. I'm smashing therapy right now. Do you know what I mean? I know all of the answers to these questions. This is very straightforward. But then I got to a box which is tell us your problems, and just tell us all about your problems. And suddenly got all coy with the form, like I was looking at the rectangle, just like, how are you doing, rectangle? Like we've not really had a chance to get to know each other yet. Do you know what I mean? It's felt a bit weird, like just being like bullet points. These are my sort of issues. Maybe I'll just send them. I'd send them the link to the podcast, but that is taking self promotion too far, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Spamming a therapy company for listens, for likes. But I mean, it just felt weird talking to a box, so I didn't figure it out. I've been smoking. Oh, but so instead, I've just been just doing it the Colorado way. Do you know what I mean? You found a man on a moped who will sell me a bag of weed, and then you still got the same problems. It's just that I was thinking about this today. So when you get a little bit stoned, you still feel like yourself, but you just don't care as much about your sort of thoughts and that. So it's not a a fix all solution, is it? But it's certainly good for papering over the cracks or whatever, filling in the gaps with some mental mortar. I don't give a fuck, man. That's what I said, and I'm gonna say it. Just looking through my notes. I've got bits that I'm working on. I want to work on a bit about. I want to work because people are so proud of being from the north, aren't they? Being a northerner. But I've lived in Brighton for like 12 years. You know what I mean? I've got lesbian friends. I've got trans friends. I've got gay friends. I haven't got many black friends, but that's just geographical. I don't know why that is. That's just from my social circle. I don't have none. And it's not like I'm going out to seek out. I haven't got a quota to fill. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying I've got some black friends, but not as many as the ones on the people on the LGBTQ community plus. And I've been drinking decaf tea, and I quit drinking for 3 months. Did have 2 beers the other night. I decided that that's fine. Who's counting? Do you know what I mean? One of my problems, I've got to stop counting stuff. I religiously count all the gigs that I've done. I count all the episodes of this that I do. I just so obsessed with like numbers and time and things like that. We did that on the previous episode. We sort of did that little OCD. Oh, hello. Hi. Oh yeah, I'm doing this. What are you doing? Just making a little podcast, talking to this. Okay. About me. You're your friend. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave you to it. No worries. Bye. I have no idea who that was. That was just someone who came in. What was I talking about? What was that? I think she didn't. This is episode 48 of the podcast, and she was like, "I didn't know what you were doing," which meant it was perfectly acceptable for me just to be sat in here talking to myself. Just like, oh, he's just sitting there talking to himself. All right. Okay, fair enough. That seems like a normal thing. You've got to have done a few weird things to when you are sat in a room just talking to yourself. People are just very accepting and just immediately accepting of that. Do you know what I mean? What was I talking about before? Tell me what I was saying. Yeah, so obsessed with time and shit. I'm just gonna try not to care about that so much. I need to get a new watch because my comedy watch broke, and that was when I really knew that the comedy was over. Before basically what had happened was I was eating a nicotine gum, and I had a gig at some pub in sort of the middle of nowhere, and I took my gum out and I put it underneath the watch face, like I stored it underneath the watch so that I could do my set, and then I just take it out afterwards, but I forgot to take it out for about 3 months. And the nicotine gum rotted the strap off. Like the strap just fell off. So that's fucking gross, isn't it? Oh man. But yeah, so I'm gonna do these pods, man. Just want to talk about getting back into fucking comedy again. I'm gonna talk about shit that's going on. Try the let's work out some fucking material. I think so I thought of a new show name as well, which is Clinical Obsession. So I'm putting that on the list. I've got like fucking about 15,000 names on that list now. So one day when I've got like an hour in like 25 years or however many sets it takes me at Eastleigh Bandstand to get an hour together, I might call it Clinical Obsession, and then I'll go and perform it probably back at Eastleigh Bandstand again. I'm just gonna get gigs anywhere, man. If you're a promoter listening to this, and then by the end of it you still like sound, I want him on my gig, then be like, hit me up, man. I'm back on Facebook again. Just type Riggs Forever, and that's me. Same on Twitter. Just type Riggs. I've got Riggs Comedian on Instagram because briefly last year I was working with a guy who was like a social media dude, and he was like, change it to comedian. So I did, and then I felt a bit silly whenever I would join someone's Instagram live stream and it would just come up Riggs Comedian. Like why do I have to announce it every time I enter a room? Do you know what I mean? That's mad to do that. So I'm probably going to change it. I'm not like, it's weird when you haven't done something for so long. Like there was a point last year where I would consider like, oh fuck yeah, I'm being a comedian. Do you know what I mean? I was getting like decent spots, open spots on comedy clubs and stuff like that, and being like, shit, well, you know what I mean? The pay's, glorified paper round, but getting those spots and that. But like since for like 2020 or like since March, I've like every time I've seen my name associated with the word comedian, I've just been a bit like, oh, I don't know. Are ya? And I want the answer to that question to be a resounding yes, he is trying to be. So that's why I'm getting out and going to try and do some of these fucking outdoor shows. I did do that show the other week, which was really fun. But that was in like a beer garden, so they're gonna want to book other people. But this one, if you're a new comedian listening, like you tend to like get rebooked a lot. I mean, if you're London, then you go to there's like a million open mics. Obviously, when virus permitting, there's like a million open mics that you can just keep doing over and over. And it's a bit harder in Brighton because there isn't as many mics. They want it, so like we've got to keep the lineup to sort of mix up. You're like, why? No one's coming. But I mean, sometimes people do come. But like, if you go out to them places where they've got maybe less comedians, less of a scene, and all they've really got is a bandstand, then you might be able to get more regular spots. So yeah, man, just crack it on. I'm gonna go in a second. I just want to look down if I've got anything else there. So I've been skateboarding, man. I'm getting this roll and ollie down. The next trick is a front side 180. I've still not gone to the skate park much. I've been doing it in the basketball courts. Sometimes I get moved along by people in basketball vests or jerseys. And they're like Chicago Bulls ones, and it's like at 7 or 8 in the morning, because I go out really early in the morning just to get my it's like exercise. I sweat like a motherfucker when I'm skating. It's not cool. It's not a cool look, really, to be a 34-year-old man who hasn't really got an ollie down yet, but just literally covered my t-shirt's gone from a light blue to a dark blue. Do you know what I mean? It's like he is sweating. And I guess it's good exercise in that regard. I always feel a bit sick after I'm done, like just an hour of just constant ollieing. And I feel like I've never associated skateboarders with sweat before, and like I feel like maybe that's why I'm not so. I don't want to go to the skate. I'm making myself sound so gross during this podcast. You know what I mean? That thing about the gum, I never should have told you that, and I shouldn't talk about how much I sweat. Really, do you know what I mean? Like, don't just be careful. If you can't give me a hug, don't, because of the social distancing. But after a comedy set or whatever, you'll know. That fuck, that is a moist man right there. He is moist. Yeah, but if we're gonna try and keep these lessons a bit short, like you do, I think I am trying to talk for an hour, like non-stop. But half an hour is good, isn't it? So I'm gonna. I'm pretty sure that's all. That's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah, go back into fucking full-time chef work with a guy called Ian, making burgers all day. He made 20 kilograms of burgers the other day, and then cut and sliced 9 giant cabbages. This is my life. This is why I need your gigs. So hit me up, man, in any way possible. Just come around my house. I was thinking about trying to set up my own show in Brighton, so I don't have to travel as far. Get a bit of MC and then get a bit more stage time. Maybe give some stage time to some others. I've just got to find a fucking location. I'll see how this. That's my little timer. I'll see how this gig goes or whatever, and then see. The thing is, I don't want it. One thing is, no, I was gonna say I don't want it to be shit, but I'm fully prepared for it to not be as good. Not necessarily shit, but just not as good. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'll keep you posted, man, on what happens. And yeah. So Alkaline podcast episode 48. Wash your beards, ugly cunts, and I'll see you later.